Everyone, we welcome you to this edition of News You Can Use. We are quickly heading out of the year of 2013. Can you believe it? Well, at any rate, we're going to take this opportunity at LaSalle TV to share as much information that we can as we have these last two shows of this year of 2013. I'm your host, Thera Martin Milling, and we are glad to have you with us. In just a moment, we will start our program. We've got a wonderful doctor with us in the first segment, Dr. Tina Scott. She is a licensed psychologist with her own private practice on City Avenue, another office in Center City. And we're going to talk to her a little bit about mental health issues and mental health concerns, particularly at this time of year. So stay along with us for the ride. In our next segment, after we talk to Dr. Tina, we have Dawn Wilson joining us, the president of Dawn to Dusk, Dusk to Dawn, and she is my church sister, my church family, and she has a wonderful bit of information she's going to share about making 100 dresses for 100 girls in Kenya, Africa. So stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. And here we go with our program. I have to say it before I go a second further. God is so good. He put a young lady in my life approximately three and a half years ago. We met during an event called Women Making a Difference, sponsored by City Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds Brown. And we just connected like across the room from each other. We were both actually working the event. I was doing PR and video, and she was acting as one of the special hostesses for the event. So we were on the same team, but we connected, we started talking, and we sort of became telephone friends / email friends. And I thank God for putting this lady in my life, Dr. Tina Scott. Thank you for being here.
Oh,
my friend, my sister, we love you. We love you.
Thank you.
And in 3 years, we have both grown. So many things have happened for both of us with our professional careers.
Yes.
When I first met you, I was Miss Radio personality, full-time, doing it, kicking it and loving it. And you saw me go through that change and having the rug sort of pulled from under my feet. And you were there to allow me to cry on your shoulder, so to speak. And I just thank God for you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And when I first met you, you were not a licensed psychologist yet. You were working toward that goal.
No, I'm a licensed psychotherapist.
Okay.
And back then I was a healthcare administrator, and I was doing my own private practice on the side. And the rug was pulled from underneath my feet as well. And I had to make some different life changes for myself. So you were also a shoulder for me to cry on and lean. God had us meet at a time like
Absolutely, absolutely. So now we're in this holiday season, and Dr. Donnie, whom you met off camera before the show started today, she is a general practitioner and a family doctor, and but she also she'll talk about different issues. And so we recently talked about the mental health piece just a little bit in the holiday blues, but I wanted to go more in depth with it because this is your specialty.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering, right about now, this time of year, as you're seeing some of your clients, are the holiday blues a part of the concern, or is it just general kind of issues?
Definitely around this time of the year, it's a high volume of stress for a lot of my clients, mainly because they're putting a lot of unnecessary expectations on themselves. They feel the need to attend every holiday party. They feel the need to purchase a gift for everyone in their family. Also, they go in the closet to wear that holiday dress that they wore last year and they can't fit it this year. So now the weight becomes an issue for them, and it doesn't put them in the mind frame of happiness. It puts them in the mind frame of being unhappy and depressed and sad. So yes, I'm getting a lot of phone calls. I'm staying very busy.
How do you talk people out of that feeling, or how do you make them understand, look, inhale, exhale, relax, you can't do for everybody?
Well, that's the thing. When they're in that mindset and in that mode, they're not thinking like that. You can't do for everybody. They're thinking that I need to do for everybody. So when they come into my office, just seeing something simple like that helps to redirect them. It helps to put them on that U-turn path to say, hey, you know what? It's okay to say no. And that's one of the words that I teach a lot of my clients during this time of the year. Just say this 2-letter word, no. No. And it makes a big difference, and it relieves a lot of stress.
Sure, sure. I know when you talk about the parties and trying to go to every party, rewinding the tape of life a few years, I used to count with pride how many invitations I had for holiday parties. So Senator Hughes invited me to his party, and I had the invitation to Congressman Fattah's party, and I was invited to on and on and on. And it would be like invitations that had come in the mail to me for Christmas parties, for holiday parties, office parties, and all this stuff. And I would go to all that stuff. And I was running myself crazy because I still had to be mom to my children. At that time, they were still, underage. And I'm trying to shop, and I'm trying to do all this other stuff. I'm a news reporter. I'm one of the managers at the station, and it was crazy. And for like the last about 5 years now, because actually it started before I got married, my second marriage. I just looked in the mirror one day and I said, I'm not doing all of this stuff anymore. Because all of these, only thing I'm doing with all these holidays parties, yes, you're networking, and I'm gaining weight. So it was kind of easy to cut back on them, and I cut it down to maybe about 3 or 4 that I will choose and pick which ones I'm going to go to now. And it has made my life, I think the quality of my life is better now than it's been in a long time.
Yes, and I hear a lot of my clients coming in with that same story, and one thing, they find themselves in financial strain. So I recommend to them, set a budget for this time of the year. How much can you really afford to spend to go to these different parties? If you have to wear a dress twice, or if you have to just set a set limitation of what you can and cannot do, opposed to spending money that you don't have, overextending yourself, and then neglecting the responsibilities of your day-to-day living. That's going to increase your stress.
You mentioned, again, before we started taping, that Senator Hughes is working on now and putting the plans together for his next In the Silence on mental health issues, which I've always applauded him on. Because it's a subject that is critical. And in the African American community, I believe, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Doc, but I believe that in the year 2013, going into 2014, in our community, there's still this stigma about mental health issues. And, if Aunt Susie, had a mental health problem, we just don't talk about it out loud. We keep Uncle Pop in the back room and take him some food, but don't talk about him. Are we still there?
I definitely, a lot of my clients come in and they're like, if I come see you, will anyone know? They don't want anyone to know that they're actually coming to see me. It's definitely a stigma. I'm considered the crazy lady. A lot of my clients come in and they say, my family call you the crazy lady because you deal with things that no one else want to deal with. But it is a stigma. People are afraid to speak out. And the thing with Senator Hughes, not that I'm being a spokesperson for that, but the thing that he's doing is trying to break the silence of mental health, making sure that people release and go get help, seek help, instead of suffering in silence. Because you can't fix the problem if you don't allow someone to help you. So.
Now, I heard years ago that people who have mental health issues who've never harmed anyone or themselves, but like everybody in the family knows JoJo got some issues, some mental health issues going on, but he's never harmed anyone, but he may threaten to. He may say he's going to harm mom. I'm going to stab up mom when she goes to sleep tonight. What's a family supposed to do with something like that? I mean, because calling the police, the old days, they would say, if they haven't actually harmed you, there's nothing we can do. But if you have somebody in your house who's family, but they're talking crazy like that, what are you supposed to do?
You can call a hotline and get help. And I know when my clients come in, I always have to assess and ask them, are there any suicidal or homicidal ideations? Meaning that, are you thinking about hurting yourself or hurting someone else? If they tell me yes, I have to actually call, because being as though I'm licensed, I have to make sure I report that to the proper authorities so no harm will come to them or someone else. And also in the household, the family can do the same thing. You can actually pick up the phone and call 911 if you feel that that person is a threat to themselves or someone else, and then they will act and do something.
Okay, in a case like that, they 302 them? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
And when you get 302, what happens with that?
Well,
the police can take you away,
right,
but they won't keep you in a jail per se. They'll take you to a mental health hospital?
Yes, you'll go to a mental health facility that will actually do some type of assessment on the client, and sometimes they're actually kept for maybe like 48 hours to 72 hours, depending on the nature of what they're being taken in for, but definitely there is steps that can be taken to help.
Someone who's feeling suicidal. If you're feeling suicidal, does that mean you have a mental health issue, or is that just a separate concern in and of itself?
I think it can be a combination of things, but most of my clients that I see and people that I see, they lost hope. And they feel that the only way out is to end their lives. And that's where people like myself come in. And then we have our psychiatrists that actually prescribe our clients medication as well. But when they're at that point, it's talking to them and helping them through their situation along with other interventions as well.
Okay. Anger management, real quick before we run out of time. Is that a mental health issue too?
Well, I believe it can stem from, in our DSM-4, it doesn't say anger management, but it can be different things dealing with different type of adjustment disorders, anxiety disorders, depression. It could be a combination of different things that could be triggering that anger. It could be a branch from the root problem. So.
Okay. All right. For our viewers, any final tips just to help them get through the holidays if they're feeling a little blue during the holiday season?
Definitely continue to do the different things that you're normally doing. For example, if you work out, don't stop working out because you're overextending yourself and you're trying to go to this party, that party. You want to actually stay engaged in activities that keep you busy and active. You want to have fun. You want to enjoy the holiday because it says "'Tis the season to be jolly." It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be lonely, and be around friends and loved ones that truly care for you. And most of all, pray. Prayer gets you through everything. Prayer still works. So.
All right, I know that's right. Thank you again for coming, my sister. I love you. And please, when you see your bishop, tell him I said, hey, I love Sharon Baptist Church and all the great work that you all are doing over there.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's Dr. Tina Scott, and we're hoping that she'll come back and join us again in the new year as we continue with News You Can Use. In a moment, we'll come back, and Dawn Wilson will join us. She is just amazing. She's got gifted hands that God gave her. Stay along for the ride. We'll be back.
Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
It's a school night. With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
Not sure about those two.
I've been meaning to ask you.
This is tougher than I thought.
Is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
I hope not, because alcohol can lead you to say things and do things that you really wish you hadn't.
Isn't this what you're supposed to say?
I know.
So if any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't.
I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you.
Brian.
Yeah?
So start the conversation even before they're teenagers.
Good idea.
For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Before we were ever treated for breast cancer,
we planned for life after breast cancer. We made the choice
that breast cancer would not take something away from us.
Unfortunately, not every woman knows her choices. The American Society of Plastic Surgeons is supporting the Breast Cancer Patient Education Act, a bill that will help make sure women who are facing breast cancer surgery are told about all their options. Help bring this important issue to light. Call your member of Congress and ask them to support the Breast Cancer Patient Education Act.
Hello everyone, we're back as we continue with this edition of News You Can Use. And joining me at this time in our program is my sister from church, my church family. Dawn Wilson is here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me,
I knew this was going to happen one day.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. I knew we were going to get to this, and I'm just so thankful that you were able to be here for this show, and particularly because you have something very special coming up on Saturday, December the 15th.
Correct.
Now, before we talk about that, got to give some credits to you. You have an ability and a talent, I call it God-given, blessed hands,
Thank you.
to do something that certainly young folks out here today don't know nothing about. And some of us older folks like me don't know anything about either, except if we get to watch you. You make hats.
Yes.
From scratch.
Yes.
You design hats, you create hats.
Yes.
So the church women love you. right?
Absolutely.
Yes. But you also, because my husband is the beneficiary of your talents in that he told me, I guess it was a few years ago, you made a shirt for him.
Tailored shirts,
so
yes.
You do tailored shirts, you do all that kind of stuff.
Tailored suits and ensembles, yes.
That's like unheard of. People don't know how to sew anymore. People don't know about sewing machines, or definitely don't know how to get a needle and thread it and sew.
Yes.
Like what?
Yes.
You do that. And you teach it.
Yes, I do. I offer, presently I'm offering private sewing lessons to area students, anyone that wants to take up the courses, adults, young adults. So private sewing lessons and regular sewing lessons. So
I know we had talked before, maybe a year or so ago, about we were going to have you come on the show one day and like make a hat right while we're sitting here, because you said you can make a hat in about 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, so that's something small, not that's massive.
Yeah, like that sharp hat you bought me. I still haven't worn it yet.
Okay.
But when I wear it, I know I'm going to knock everybody out.
Yes, you will.
Yes.
So there's different types of ways that I do design and make hats. So there's hand block. The one that you have is a hand cut sewn hat. So crochet, knitting, stuff of that nature.
And I know that you are very involved with the fashion world of Philadelphia. When they do the fashion shows, the major fashion shows for Philadelphia season, you've been involved in some of that and working with and supporting all of that happens. But on the 15th of December, you are a part of 100 dresses being made?
Well, let me go back. Basically, what initiated this whole goal to create these dresses was the Little Dresses of Africa. I was inspired to work on a project that would be giving back to the community. And I was watching a show, and there was these other women that were making little dresses for the little girls, specifically in Africa. A woman, Rachel O'Neill, was the founder of the organization. It's a Christian-based organization that helped make these dresses for little girls in Africa. For orphanage is really what inspired her to do that. So and
so then you got inspired.
So I got inspired.
Okay.
So I wanted to find, I'm always looking for ways to give back. I love to give and to help others. So that was another way to do that. And my goal was to create 100 dresses. 50 was going to go to the Little Dresses of Africa and to another organization, which is called God Unlimited Ministries.
Okay.
So the 15th of December, is all meet missionaries of Solid Rock Baptist Church, and we're going to help pack 50 of the dresses to get them prepared to send.
So the dresses have now all been made?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And did you make them all by yourself, or did other people work with you to
Well, we were looking to get volunteers from the community. Members of the Solid Rock Baptist Church came, and also from Delaware County came.
You mean some other members of Solid Rock came and helped to do the sewing?
Helped to do the cutting, helped to do the...
you didn't call me.
The pressing.
You must know I can't cut.
No,
I can't cut a straight
everyone's,
line
we've been looking,
to save my life.
For the past 2 years, we've really been looking for folks to helping to give, and it's always a challenge to find people wanting to do that. I did bring some of the dresses to show you today.
Good.
So
pass over a dress or two. Let me hold them up while you keep talking. I love this. I love this. But you know, blessing that I didn't know about it, because I would have messed everything up. Oh, this is wonderful. This is beautiful. And you made these? This looks like something that was store-bought. This is beautiful. Oh, the girls are going to love these dresses.
Yeah, these are size 4 and 5 and size 7 and 8.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
So
they absolutely will love these, I'm sure.
Yes.
And so all of them will be going to Kenya, Africa?
Yes, well, they go to all parts, different parts of the country for the Little Dresses of Africa. But the mission tour that we're going to be going to later in May, we initially was going to go in November. This is in relationship. These are 2 groups, by the way, that I'm a team member with. The Gloria Unlimited Ministries are going to be going out to Kenya later this year in May.
And you will be going with them?
I will be going with them,
And we will be praying for you at Solid Rock.
Please, please.
I've been to the motherland. I absolutely loved it.
Okay.
but I didn't realize how much of a spoiled African-American princess I am, because I was ready to come home after 7 days.
Oh.
I was, and I mean, it was beautiful, and I want to go again, but I missed home. I'm a spoiled brat. I miss home. But it was a great experience, and I think that Africa and all of the continents are places that we should all explore and go to if we can. If you have that opportunity, I tell people, take that advantage of that opportunity to travel, to see something aside from just what's here in the United States or what's just here in Pennsylvania. There's so much to see in the world.
It really is, and there's all kinds of needs around this world.
Yes. So that's going to be a great experience, and to be able to take the clothes and to maybe even see some of the little girls who will actually wear these dresses.
That's what I look forward to. Yes.
That's great. That's great. So can anybody else help at this point? Can anybody plug into what you're doing, or is it just a matter of praying at this point to make sure that you all have a safe trip to and from?
We're looking for volunteers to come and help out, to come and help cut, to press, and especially to sew. At this point, we have a very little amount of sewers, so I'm really looking for sewers.
On Saturday,
on Saturday we're going to prepare to ship 50 dresses, but from this point on, we're actually still making more dresses for the Kenya trip.
Oh, that's going to be great.
So if anyone is interested, they can feel free to contact me by email.
Well, the last dress I made, I was 15 years old. I was a student at Angela Domini Academy, which is a step away from where LaSalle University is. It's a private all-girl Catholic school, and we had to take homemaking, and we were learning to sew, and I put the dress on to wear to the graduation of some upperclassmen, and I remember this, I'll never forget this day, because it was an embarrassing day in my life. And I went to hug one of the young ladies, and the whole back of my dress came open, and the dress almost fell off of me because I was a terrible seamstress. But maybe I'll come and watch you all.
You need to come and join for class.
And watch and study. Indeed. Is there a phone number where people can be in touch with, now I always say it wrong, Dusk to Dawn?
Dusk to Dawn Fashion Inc. Yes, there is. There's
or an email address, whatever you want to
get.
They
can contact me by email, hatsbydawn at gmail.com. If you're interested in any of our other services, you can go to our website. It's hatsbydawnshop.com. And our phone number is 215-847-1920.
Okay. I want to thank you for sharing, and I know that you're doing great work. What you teach, aside from what you're doing on December the 15th and the trip to Kenya and making these beautiful dresses for these very deserving little girls, teaching, sewing, we got to get back to some of the stuff that we grew up watching our grandmoms and other people do around us. And for men too, who were tailors, our young men, our young ladies, they need to get back to these basic skills, because I don't care how many computers you have around you. I don't know a computer yet that can sew a dress.
I don't think so.
Never met one of those yet. And just have that. I just pray that our community gets back to it, and more people like you come up and start offering the kinds of classes that you're doing, so that people, I mean, you know, it's a sad day when you talk to a young lady and she says, oh, my dress is ripped. And I said, well, get a needle and sew it. How do I do that? They have no clue. They have no clue. So you are blessed in what you're doing, and being able to share it with other people, that is a good thing. Give us the phone number one more time.
Okay, the phone number is 215-847-1920.
All righty. I want to thank you for joining us to share
Thank you,
this
Farrah.
information.
Thank you so much.
And I will be there. Missed that one. And we wish you peace and blessings and prosperity and everything good that God can send you in 2014.
Thank you, dear.
You and your family.
Thank you.
All right. Love you much, my sister. Okay, we're going to keep it moving on this edition of News You Can Use. We're going to hear next from Dr. Donnie Patterson, representing on behalf of Einstein Medical Center.
Hello. Many people underestimate the power of sleep, and it's really important in this time of the year where things are very busy. There are a lot of theories about sleep, but one theory is that our mind needs to rest and relax, and it also needs time to file information into different files in our brain. So, children need about 9 to 10 hours of sleep, and adults need about 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So don't forget to get your children to bed on time, because they really do need that sleep. Poor sleep habits, they really can affect your blood pressure, your insulin regulation, so it can affect diabetes. It can lead to things like depression, and it also has been shown in some studies to increase mortality or increase death in some cases. So what I want you to do is I want you to plan better. I want you to make sure that you turn off the TV and that you use your bedroom to work and not do other type of activities there. Use your bedroom for rest and relaxation. Avoid over-the-counter sleep aids unless your doctor says it's okay. And definitely avoid using alcohol as a way to get to sleep. If you have more serious sleep issues, I definitely want you to talk to your doctor because sleep is very important. I'm Dr. Donnie, and I wish you the best of health. But if you can't be the best, you can be better.
Thank you so much, Dr. Donnie. As always, we appreciate all of the health tips that you bring to us, and we appreciate you for representing on behalf of Einstein Medical Center. This has been a great year with Dr. Donnie being by our side, helping us to make this show, News You Can Use, a success, and we really appreciate her for all that she brings to the table of discussion here at LaSalle TV. And as we wind down on this program, I want to again remind folks during this holiday season to be very safe as you're out and about doing whatever it is that you do. Watch your back if you're shopping and whatnot. Ladies in particular, be very attentive to your handbags. In fact, we suggest you don't take a handbag with you if you can get away with it. Put your license and your other important materials in a pocket or something, but rather than dangling around with a handbag. And certainly don't walk down dark streets by yourself and you've got gifts and packages in your hands, because that's not a very smart thing to do. It makes you an easy target for somebody who may not mean you well. And then of course, if you're gonna be out there celebrating, like I was talking with Dr. Tina Scott in our first segment, you know, in the holiday parties and this and that and the other, don't go to a holiday party and have 3, 4, 5 drinks and know that you're doing the driving. You want to have a safe time and a good time when you're out and celebrating this holiday season, but have a designated driver or take a taxi cab if you must, or SEPTA. Do not be out there drinking and driving or doing drugs, because it will not only be dangerous for you, it will be dangerous for other people around you. Those are my holiday tips as we get through this and go on into this new year. Be blessed, and remember that life is fragile. Handle it with prayer. Thank you for joining us on this edition of our show.